Right, here's a really simple method to boost your revenue, make an extra $12,000 in 30 days with barely any traffic, right? So if you're starting an e-commerce brand, or you've just started a brand, or you're running an e-commerce store and you want to make more money from your store, I'm going to teach you a very simple marketing principle, right, that you can leverage to boost your sales, increase your conversion rates, right, and also more importantly, double your revenue using what's known as a value ladder. Okay, so this is an e-commerce store that I worked on. You can see very, very early on at the start, making very little revenue, and then very, very quickly we're making huge amounts of revenue in this brand. We can continue to scale this revenue very, very quickly. So basically what we're trying to do here is increase our average order value and our lifetime value, which means every single customer that comes into our business is going to spend more and also come back and keep on buying, right? Which means we can spend the same amount on ads, we can get the same amount of traffic, not have any scaling problems, but we can make more money from the traffic that we're getting, right? Doesn't that sound cool, right? So if that sounds exciting, leave a comment down below, like, subscribe. And I'm also doing a free training where I'm going to help you out with some other stuff as well. If you want to get access to that, that's linked down below or in the card up there. You can get a free course as well. But what exactly is a value ladder, right? So this guy here, his name is Russell Brunson. Okay, Russell Brunson, I don't know whether he came up with the idea of a value ladder or he just basically explains it incredibly well. But essentially, right, a value ladder is a strategic sequence of offers that a business uses to systematically provide increasing value to its customers, right? And this is a really cool thing here, right? It's increasing value to its customers, okay? The idea here is we are actually going to give the value to the customers, more value to the customers, and also at the same time make more money in our business, right? So how does this work? Well, essentially, right, most people who start an e-commerce brand, right, they get from each customer, let's say $30, okay? And it costs them a cost per acquisition of, let's do equals, right? Equals roughly, I'm just guessing here, right, $20, right? Now, this is an okay starting point, but you cannot scale a brand at this point, right? So if this is where you're at the moment, you're not going to be able to spend, $500 or $1,000 a day on ads. You can probably spend maybe $100 a day and maintain this. But if you want to scale to the next level, and you want to build a long-term brand, you need to introduce a value ladder, right? And essentially, right, the idea of a value ladder, okay, I'm just going to draw a quick value ladder here. The idea of a value ladder is to gradually introduce better pricing or different products where a customer can come through and they can continue to work their way up that value ladder. Right. In other words, they come in, it's very, very easy to get onto the first rung of the ladder. And once they're on that first rung of the ladder, they then feel confident enough to continue climbing that ladder. Right. So, for example, this is typically a very, very low ticket product. This is anywhere between $0 and $10. You then offer them a product, maybe, for example, $50. Right. And I'm just making these numbers up. And then here you offer them a product for $100, which means at the end of this, assuming somebody has entered this ladder and climbed, right, you will have more people joining this ladder than you would in your typical case, right? In your typical case, there's one person joining. In this case, you've got like 3 people joining. In other words, you increase your conversion rate because you've got a lower price. And also this here, right, we'll go through this in a minute, is a very compelling offer. Okay, and we'll go through that in a second. But in other words, right now, somebody who comes through your business is giving you $160. Okay, this is over a lifetime. Actually, not really necessarily a lifetime, but we can think of it like that. And also, right, our cost per acquisition actually doesn't increase very much because maybe we'll say like $30 cost per acquisition, right? Which leaves us here with, assuming we've got, no product costs, because I can't be asked to do the maths, a profit of $130, okay? Whereas in this situation, your profit is coming out to be something along the lines of like $10, right? And that is obviously assuming that you've got no product cost, right? So you can see the attraction of doing this. From the same amount of traffic, we're making a significant amount more profits just because we're using a value ladder. And we set up a very compelling offer, we can increase our conversion rate. So that's the general principle of this idea, right? And you can set this up in whichever way you want. But essentially, Russell came up with this system, right? And this system is basically defined in the way where you start off with an entry-level offer, okay? Very, very low-cost offer. You then move to a core offer, then upsell, and then high-ticket offer, okay? So I've actually gone through this in a previous video. This is something which I like to call the activation threshold, okay? The activation threshold, activation energy, whatever you want to call it. But the point is, right, when somebody comes into your business or they visit your landing page and they try and buy, most people will end up below this activation threshold, okay? In other words, the people who are at this point here are not, let's put this in white so we can read that right, these people here are not going to convert, okay? So 0 conversions, okay? So these are basically lost sales, okay, lost customers, okay, and most people can try and bring these back through like retargeting. Okay, and then above this threshold, you have the number of people who are actually going to purchase your product, right? So these are people who are kind of keen to buy, and they buy from you, okay? And this point here is basically your conversion rate. The number of people who are above this threshold are the people that buy. Now, the really cool thing about the activation threshold, right, is when somebody comes into your business, and once they have bought from your business, once they are at this level, it's very, very difficult, okay, running out of room here, it's very, very difficult for them to actually drop below that level, okay? And the reason for this is because they now trust your brand, okay? Very, very hard for somebody to drop below this level. So once you've acquired a customer, they now trust you, okay? And that is basically what we are trying to do. Now, the other really cool thing here is, what we can do by starting building a value ladder and an entry level offer, right, a low cost product, and there's lots of ways of doing this, right? For example, right, you could basically just sell a trial product, okay, or like a free trial. You could sell a taster, whatever, right? So we'll send you a small version of our product for a very cheap price. We can do free plus shipping, right? Whatever it is. But the idea here is you need to just get the customer in, okay? But the really cool thing is with this offer, right, what we can do is we can actually lower this activation threshold. And as we lower that activation threshold, it's not necessarily this extreme, we are now increasing our conversion rate. Now it's much easier to get people coming into our store and buying. We're getting more people buying. And the best part is, right, we're not actually running any more traffic. Okay, so what we're doing is we're trying to increase our conversion rate through using this system here, right? Okay, so the next step to this is the core offer. Actually, I'll give you some other examples, right? So I've written down some examples here, right? You have, for example, a free ebook, and this is, again, it very much depends on your business, right? Free ebooks, we've got webinars, low-cost sample product. I've given you a couple of other examples. But in other words, right, a free or low-cost product designed to attract potential customers and initiate a relationship. Here's the really key thing, is building that relationship, right? Secondly is the core offer. This is a moderate price. This is the main product, right? This is probably what you are currently selling, okay? So for example, right, if you're selling a product, you're selling AirPod cases for $10, $15, that would be your core offer, right? If you're selling like a bundle of them, this is your core offer here. So basically you add in a product before this step, okay? And Russell built a software which allows you to build funnels, okay? So you've got each layer of this funnel is going to be the different steps, okay? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So basically you have a landing page where you sell this product, they then get redirected to a thank you page, which is the core offer, and then you get the people going to the upsell, okay? Now, you're never going to get, right, it's not going to be like 100% of people coming through. You're not going to get 100% of people who bought this product buying this one. There will be a drop in conversion rates, right? Let's say, for example, you get a 3% conversion rate here, maybe you'll get a 50% conversion rate here. In other words, if you got 100 people buying this product, okay, you would get 50 people buying this product. So 50% conversion rate of that one, okay, and then maybe because this is much higher, you'd get maybe 10%, okay, of that one, right? So you'd get 5 people buying, okay, and then you get 1% of these people buying this product, okay? So actually, let's just do it as like 10%, right? So whatever. No, it's not. That's like, anyway, 20% is 1. Anyway, you get the idea, right? But the point is, the main product or service that addresses the primary needs of the customer. This is the product that you're actually selling. But don't forget, right, this product here has to complement this product here. An example of this is a moderately priced product that solves a significant problem for the customer, right? Significant problem being very, very important. I've gone through this in previous videos. The really key thing here is making sure that when somebody buys your product, they are actually going to get value from your product, okay? And then we can continue with this where we have an upsell offer. Every single product that you are selling needs to be related to each other in some way, okay? So for example, a more comprehensive version of the core offer, additional modules or exclusive access to premium features. Now this is like taken from what Russell Brunson says, because he basically teaches courses, coaching, digital products, selling it through funnels. But the same principle applies to e-commerce, right? I'll come up with an example. For example, right? You could have the first product could be, I don't know, you're selling like an AirPod case, right? This product here could be, it could be, I don't know, a bundle of AirPod cases, or it could be a case for your Mac or something like that, right? Complimentary. Somebody who buys an AirPod most likely has an iPhone or also a MacBook, right? So you sell a product that's complimentary. And then this product here could be some sort of insurance for your Mac, for your phone and for your AirPods. Maybe some tracking information, like a tracking device for it also, you don't lose it. And right, so that's the kind of the idea, right? You are gradually increasing the price. Okay, so at this point, whatever you sell for $500, you want it to be in the customer's mind, right, worth more than $500. So it's an easy purchase, right? Finally, a high ticket offer. Now, for most e-commerce brands, I wouldn't focus on this just yet. If you're focusing on any of these things, really, you just want to start, if you're literally just starting out, right, I recommend you focus just on these two. Maybe you increase into this one as well, but just don't bother with this one for now. This would be something that's worth over $1,000, right? And this is where he says high-end coaching, exclusive memberships, personalized services, right? So in e-commerce, the only one that really matters here is personalized services. You're not really going to be able to do any coaching or anything like that. And this is basically for Russell's stuff. So that is basically the idea of building a value ladder. So why is this important for building a brand? And how is this, more importantly, going to help us make over $12,000 in 30 days from the same amount of traffic? Well, you guys might remember this brand here called Dollar Shave Club, right? Dollar Shave Club basically came into the market and said, you know what, everybody's doing e-commerce wrong, right? If you want to go ahead and you want to buy shaving stuff, right, you're going to have to spend $20 per month, right, on your product, right? And that is fair enough, because you got, like, you know, reusable blades and all of that stuff. But they thought it's a very, very competitive market. How on earth are we going to join that market? How on earth are we going to get the customers? Because we have a product, right? They have a subscription product that they were selling, but they knew they couldn't just run ads to a subscription product, because most people, already buy their razor blades from somebody. Most people do not want to buy yet another subscription, because it's very hard to track all of your subscriptions. And also, what's the point, right? What's so special about these guys? So they launched a campaign, right? Which was this was like their kind of campaign. They launched this, like, I think this was one of their earliest videos, and the idea was it was a very, very cheap and easy solution. Just get your Dollar Shave Club, get your blades very, very cheaply, right? So they had an entry level offer. It was a $5 starter set, I think. So basically now, right, their core offer, which is what most of you are doing, you're running ads to a core offer, okay, which for these guys I think is like $25 per month. I'm guessing, I can't quite remember off the top of my head, right? For you, it could be a $50 product, right? Maybe you're selling bundle of soap, okay? Maybe that's what you're selling on your brand, right? You're currently running ads to this, okay? And what they decided was, as opposed to running ads to the core offer, they're going to run ads to an entry-level offer, okay? Because they know that nobody's going to trust them, and it's very, very hard to get a good conversion rate on a subscription. But if somebody comes in and they buy an entry-level offer, like for the $5 starter set, and, right, very importantly here, you give them a good service, I can't spell, then they are going to come back and purchase. Now, there are two ways of doing this. You can either do this one, okay, as an upsell, which means once they've bought this offer, you've got their card information, and they've now already made that decision to buy. They're already in a buying cycle. They have already moved over that activation threshold. Now, what you can do is offer them the core offer as an upsell, okay? So it takes them from one landing page to another, right? So if you actually visualize this as landing pages, okay, so you have your 3 landing pages, right? The first one is your entry. This is your entry level offer. This is your core offer. And then this is like your upsell offer. Okay, so the entry level offer for them is $5. When somebody buys, it then moves them to the thank you page, right? Which is actually an upsell page where they sell a $25 per month offer. And then it moves them to the upsell page after that again. And then there is a so this is like the core offer, right? So for you, it would be whatever it is you're currently selling. And then on this page, it moves into another offer, which is like $100 for this product, okay? So now, right, if you look at the conversion rates through this funnel, you get a significantly higher conversion rate, because it's not very difficult to convince somebody to spend $5 on your store, especially if you market it as, look, try it before you buy it, right? Give it a go. If you like it, come back and buy some more stuff, but there's no commitment, right? Then, once they've made that decision, they now have the immediate opportunity to buy for $25. Now, there is a way that you can do this where you can basically, once they buy, you then skip out this stuff, right? You then go to, you actually ship that product, right? Okay, whatever, we'll just write ship because I can't be asked to draw it. Once they receive that product, you then send them an email being like, okay, here's a percentage off discount. And then what you do is you remarket them to come back to here, right? And you can do this through running paid ads as well. But the principle is you want to wait until they've received that product. And throughout this period here, you have, right, good customer service. Okay, customer service is very, very important. Nobody does it because they're all bored. It's a very, very boring thing to do. But the point is, if you have very, very good customer service, right, you're going to get a very, very high conversion rate of people buying your core offer. Now, the reason most people don't want to do this is because if you don't get enough conversion rates through this funnel, you are going to lose money. Okay, because obviously you're not making enough money back through your ads. But on the converse side of that, right, your cost per acquisition for a $5 product, CPA, is probably going to be less than $10, okay, if you know how to do your marketing properly. Whereas your cost per acquisition for a $25 per month product, CPA, is probably going to be greater than $50. Okay, which means you need to make sure that person pays for like 2 or 3 months, right? And the same thing goes for if you're selling a $50 product, your CPA would probably be like $30. So you can decrease the cost per acquisition, you can get more people coming through the funnel, and more importantly, right, we are trying to build a long-term brand. So what happens, the important thing for us is actually getting customers, not necessarily making profit on the front end, because we know once we've got a customer coming in, we have like a system built in that's going to get them coming back and buying multiple products, right? So their core offer was a monthly subscription. Then they had an upsell offer, which was full-sized grooming products. I can't remember exactly what they were. For example, maybe like a back shaver or some sort of like bundle where you get some sort of shaving cream, high ticket offer, exclusive gift sets, and premium memberships, right? And again, you just need to decide on what these products are. For example, if I were you, I would just focus on 1, 2, and maybe 3. But this offer here allows us to get customers for significantly cheaper. Okay, so how does this enable us to make $12,782 in 30 days with barely any traffic, right? The point is here, we are providing immediate value, we are decreasing the risk, and the chances are when somebody buys the product, if we give them a good service, we know they're going to come back and buy, right? So ensure your initial offer delivers significant value, okay? So in Dollar Shave Club's example, they are selling the exact same product that you would buy from somebody else, but for $5, right? So the value is already there, but the price is low. So you've increased the value of that product, right? So you're delivering significant value. You're building trust. This is huge, right? Which makes customers more likely to progress to your core offer and upsell offers. Now, when they progress to this point, like I said earlier, they either progress immediately or they progress afterwards. That doesn't matter so much. If I were you, I would try and do an immediate upsell using this funnel here rather than this one here, okay? So an example, if you're offering a sample product, make sure it's something that showcases the quality and effectiveness of your brand, okay? So, for example, in Dollar Shave Club, they knew that their product works, right? It's a razor blade, of course it's going to work, right? But it showcases the quality and effectiveness of the brand. They're probably losing money on the front end because their products weren't very good. Now, obviously, right, if you are a one-man band, you can't necessarily go down to a $5 price point on the same product that you're selling for your core offer. So you need to think of a new product that you can sell. But the really important thing here is we are increasing brand loyalty, our average order value, and our lifetime value. But to do this, you need to take a hit on the front end of your marketing, okay? And it's a very, very difficult mindset switch because in your mind, right, you're kind of going down this path here, which we're going to go through in a second. But basically, you've got to realize that every customer interaction is an opportunity to provide more value and move these people up the value ladder, okay? You need to stop thinking that actually every single customer that comes into your brand is just a quick cash grab, and it's an opportunity, in fact, to move them up that value ladder. Remember that value ladder? Move them up that value ladder and we can make more money from that customer, okay? It's not just about making a sale, it's about building a relationship that leads to a long-term loyalty and higher lifetime value. I cannot emphasize this enough, right? If you want to build a long-term brand, that's what you need to focus on. Okay, so most people, right, start their e-commerce journey and they go down this route. They push ads to get quick sales, okay? Because most people are starting e-commerce to make money, okay? Why would you just start it for a hobby, right? It doesn't make much sense, okay? Sorry, so if you're starting it, right, to make money, the only focus that you have is marketing, right? If you're focusing on marketing, you can make sales. So what you do is you push ads to get quick sales. You get a very high cost per acquisition, right? Because you spend very little time on things like, right, these are the things that you need to focus on. Market research, which sounds boring, but it's very, very important. You can do that very, very easy just by looking at like TikTok comments, for example. You need to spend time on your landing pages, on your conversion rates. You want to spend time on your customer support. This is huge, okay? Because you cannot scale a brand if you do not have your customer support set up, right? And the best part is once you've set it up, it's automated. okay, which means you can continue to scale your brand while this thing is just completely automated in the background, right? You also then hyper-focus on the front-end marketing. You build no brand loyalty and very, very low return customer rates, right? Low return customer rates, if you go into your e-commerce, your Shopify store now, right, your return customer rate, okay, will probably be something around the size of like 5%. Maybe you're looking at like 15% at the very, very best, right? Most people who are just starting out are kind of sitting at this point because they haven't really done anything for return customer rates, because they are basically just trying to pump as many customers through, but you don't make money from your customers on the front end, right? Building a core audience, this is like the value ladder, right? Building a core audience and brand loyalty. This is really what we're trying to do here. What happens is you sell a product for a very, very low price, or you do, another way of defining this, right, is tripwire. Okay, and Russell said this, right? Tripwire funnel. In other words, somebody comes in and they're like, it's only $5. Sure, I'll buy it. They then buy it, and then they're like, oh, actually, now there's a product for $50, okay, or $150 because I wrote 150. But the point is, they don't know you kind of hidden that $150 offer behind a very, very cheap $10 offer, okay? In other words, tripwire, right? Build a core brand audience, establish brand loyalty. Now, this obviously is not going to happen if you do not give them a good service, okay? So the good service is, on your thank you page, you want to show like testimonials. You want to show proof. You want to do things like give them a personalized discount, right? All of that stuff, okay? And then you're going to get somebody to buy your next product, right? And if you give them a good service, then you're building brand loyalty, which means you're increasing your customer retention, right? And this, you should have like a return customer rate of greater than 30% if you do this properly, okay? Then financial benefits, right? Higher lifetime value, right? As opposed to making from your original one here, as opposed to making whatever you were making on this, like $50 from the customer in one time, and obviously like only, let's say, $20 in profit. Here, we're actually increasing the value. We're making, $150 from our customers, and we're making $90 in profit, for example, right? So we're making significant amount more profit than we were before. Increased repeat purchases, right? So over a period of a year, what happens is, and you can't keep on selling the product. Most common question I get from people is like, well, how do I know what product to sell, right? Well, the point is you're building a niche store, right? So the idea is over a period of a year, you need to do product launches. So somebody's going to come in, they're going to buy a product, they're going to spend some money on your store. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to just instantly come back and buy. You need to give them reasons to purchase a new product. So they're going to buy a new product, and then a new product, and a new product. And then eventually it'll peter off and they won't buy anything, right? But the point is, they are spending money on your store consistently throughout the year, right? This is January. This is March. Okay, and this is, May. But the point is, right, and this is really cool because it gets to a point where you don't need to spend any more on ads because your customers will keep on purchasing from your store. And this is how brands like Adidas and Nike work, and any brand that that's that's been around for a very long period of time. They know once they've acquired a customer, they need to keep that customer. So they need to keep giving them products to buy. Okay, Amazon is exactly the same. Once a customer comes into Amazon and they buy a product, okay, they know that that customer is going to use the service of Amazon again because they get very fast shipping times. If there's any problems with their order, they can get in contact with customer service very easily. Their customer support takes like 10 minutes on the phone to get in contact with them. There's a support hub. You can get a refund. You can cancel your order. All of these things are very, very important to build lifetime value, right? So ultimately, you have more upsell opportunities and you maximize the revenue that you make from your business, okay? So hopefully this video sort of explained to you the importance of introducing value ladders and, more importantly, focusing on lifetime value. And I'm going to write this in huge here because nobody else is talking about this. Sustainable e-commerce. Does it have two M's? Right, you want to focus on this. This is huge because then you can make sure that you're building a brand over a long period of time. Guys, if this is useful to you and you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like, and also there is a free course, free training that you can join if you click the link down below. Also up here, you can go ahead and join that. If you join the free training, I'll send you a 3-hour free course. Bye.